what is some of the biggest, I know you like to invest in education for yourself and stuff like that. What are some of, I guess, things or lessons you've received from mentorship in the last year or so? Some things that have helped transform you and either as a, business owner, as the owner of the brokerage, or as an originator.
Investing in myself, I feel like this is going to be a really big answer, but investing in myself in whatever capacity that is, whether that's getting a personal trainer, getting a dietitian, um, getting a mindset coach, things like that just go so far in helping you to achieve your goals. Um, you know, one of the biggest things that I've invested in here recently has been mortgage education, um, specifically on accessing different resources out there. I'm not going to shout out any specific companies on this, I guess, unless you really want me to.
You're welcome to. I mean, if you think it's something that could be insightful or helpful to another originator, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, we'll just stick with some of the basics, man. Like just setting yourself up for success in the morning by reading the news. Housing Wire, MBS Highway, places like that just offer a lot of really strong um, tools to really help lessen the learning curve on where the industry kind of stands. Because if you just wake up every morning and plug in and don't offer some sort of value when you get on the phone to your clients, they're not going to be bought in, man. So it's very important that you stay up to date with industry changes and, make sure that you're reading, well, whatever kind of content you can really get your hands on, because all of that helps really put an edge over you versus the competition.
sure, that makes sense. I don't know if you noticed, but I put the shirt on for you, by the way. You would wanted to,
The mastermind trick.
yeah, you
The
wanted,
bottom of it. What does it say on the bottom? Can you see it? Mastermind in Paradise. Can you tell us a little bit about that, man? I'd love to hear it.
yeah, man, it was fun. So first of all, it's part of the Inner Circle, which is Russell Brunson's mastermind. The co-founder of ClickFunnels, and we've used, obviously, as a marketing agency, ClickFunnels since. I mean, it's been like a long time, like 7-ish years. And our business, as far as how we attract leads for ourselves, it's heavily built on that. And so I've always had a great appreciation. What's actually cool about this to me is, and I'll actually give a plug on this because we're not. This is the actual copy of it. So when I was at the Plasma Center twice a week, this was one of the books that I would read all the time. And, I was there for about 90 minutes minimum each time. And so this thing has a ton of notes and folded pages and all kinds of stuff. But this, this book really changed my life, and it's just packed full of, if you're trying to understand marketing, first of all, .com Secrets by Russell Brunson is absolutely phenomenal. Amazing resource. But, it was kind of a full circle moment even to be in the Inner Circle because, to finally be running in the pack with the guy that I was at the very beginning of it all, at my lowest point, and I was trying to learn from him, from the only resource of his I could afford, which was this book, and then eventually to in the end be rocking together. That to me is just a really cool full circle moment, right? So I really enjoy those events. The other reason I enjoy it is, I think this is a lesson for most loan officers too, is if you want to grow your business, you should stop taking all your information in from mortgage specific things. Like, that's important to be relevant, right? And to be up on the current things. But if we're talking marketing trends, marketing tactics, you should see what's happening in a wide variety of industries, right? And so the cool thing about the Inner Circle is it provides exposure to a lot of other entrepreneurs that, are doing anywhere between like 3, sometimes a little below that, but usually around 3 million to 500 million in annual revenue. And so it's like, I'm a firm believer of, if you want to increase your position in life, one of the best ways to do that is just change the people you're hanging out with. I think most of us have relationships we tolerate or that we spend a lot of time on that don't serve us, or don't serve our higher purpose. And so, that was probably when I was on the come up, and I was on the tail end of the plasma center. I was like driving to masterminds because I couldn't afford to fly. I remember I hung out with this pack of insurance brokers out in Utah. This is like summer of 2017. And I had just, started doing all of the marketing that I was selling to real estate agents, insurance agents. And I was sitting in this room with these guys, and I was going to talk about Facebook lead generation, because back in 2017, it was the wild west of Facebook lead gen. So they were blown away by everything I had to talk about. And I talked for we were supposed to have 30 minutes each. I ended up going for 2.5 hours because they kept asking questions. And it was really cool because it was the first time I was ever exposed to really wealthy people. And I was so impressed by the way they carried themselves. And they were just dudes in cargo shorts and flip-flops. And, some had polos, some had just t-shirts. And I was just like, and granted, it's summer in Utah in a cabin. So yes, obviously we're kicking it. But it was the first interaction I had with people of what I would consider wealth or higher, kind of a life situation. And I just spent the weekend observing them because I was like, dude, I want to be like them. I want to be more like them, right? I don't want to be them specifically, but there were things that I definitely had to learn from them. And so that actually really transformed kind of my perspective on relationships. And so I was driving back from that trip, and I remember just processing how much I was going to start focusing on the relationships in my life, because I knew that I would be willing to be the best student in the room. I knew that I'd be willing to be to do the work. I knew I'd be willing to have the late nights, the early mornings, the long weekends. I was willing to do all of that. It's actually normal for me at this point. Like I when I'm not doing it, I'm uncomfortable, which is a whole separate thing I got to work through. But it's like there was the relationship part of it was huge to my ability to grow. And so now, at this mastermind, it feels honestly like we're collapsing decades into days. Things that if I tried to do it without that proximity, without that access to people who have gone the distance, who have done what I want to do, or a version of it, and have insights, and they can help me avoid the pitfalls and the mistakes, and I can learn from their life and gain that wisdom without the hardship to acquire the wisdom. That's been transformative. So there was, we forged a lot of friendships, in the last few weeks. And, it also honestly helped us kind of transform our perspective on our business, because we used to want to grow a little bit, but now it's like, we got a whole new fresh perspective on where we want to take this business, how we want to help the mortgage industry. And I'm really excited to see what we do, because because we had like 3 weeks of almost back-to-back masterminding. We had our Stake of the Union mastermind, which is a really intimate mastermind of agency owners in different industries, but all heavily done for you services like what we do. And then we went to meet and hang out with for a day Dan Kennedy, who, that's been a really cool relationship to start to foster. And he just FedExed me a package today that I've been chomping at the bit to go through, of just a bunch of cool stuff that he sent. And then, and then we literally went from Stake of the Union to Dan Kennedy. I had 1 day back home, and then we went to Mexico to hang out with Russell and his pack. So, it was empowering, man, and, I'm very grateful for that. I legit, I took, I don't know, maybe 50 pages of notes, maybe more, but like, I had so many insights that both personally and professionally that I think are going to change my life over the next 12 months. But I don't know that I've had this much clarity in business ever, which is an empowering feeling.